What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Trail Talk. Today, we're doing something a little bit different, Eric. We just finished the challenge series, and you saw a bunch of vehicles. We did some things. Today, we're gonna be working on the ATV from the series, kind of the YouTube ATV, right? We've talked a little about it. We've used it for a while. We haven't changed many things. We did a metal rack at one point, which you did not see. But today we're gonna do some accessory installs. And here's the thing though. Eric, do you remember I said we aren't doing install videos?
Quote you on that.
I forget when I said it, but we still aren't. This is not like, hey, here's the perfect way to install these, kind of in the same way as the challenge series. This isn't official. We are going to hang out though. We're gonna install some stuff. It's gonna be fun. Do you wanna know what we're installing?
Yes, what are we doing?
On this vehicle, we are going to be adding a front bumper.
Okay.
We're going to be adding body armor, which is like kind of like rock sliders for an ATV, but except they like follow the body line, you know, and armor it. And then we're going to possibly, because I don't know if I ordered the right parts, be installing handguards.
Gotcha.
The coolest thing.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay, so that's what the plan is for today. We have the vehicle here in our pavilion in the cleanest space possible. We are on a flat surface, which you do want. We have the vehicle. This is kind of the garage.
This is it.
This is some other, don't worry about this yet, but
Oh, God.
we're using my on-trail toolkit to do this. I hope I have all the right tools.
I love it.
It's a big kit, we should have it all. We might have to bum some tools, we'll have to see, okay? Okay, let me get all this stuff out. We're gonna, at least we have a bunch of tables so we can see everything.
Yeah, I like it.
So let me pull it all out, we're gonna get started. So in this box is the body armor. We'll open this in a little bit. Ugh. I need to install the front bumper before the body armor because this will actually attach to the body armor, or sorry, the body armor will attach to the front bumper. I'm so hopeful that we actually do have it all. All of the ATVs that we have, they're already good to go, right? You don't need any modifications, but if you want to get a little crazy, if you want to do, add a few extra things, or have certain capabilities or certain things you want to just improve, you certainly can add some things. So come around here, Eric.
Okay.
Front bumper. We are going to be installing a front bumper on the front of the ATV, basically for protection from, brush, right? Different stuff on the trail, trees, an impact of some kind, just a little bit more protection up front. Very simple,
And it
right?
looks cool.
Looks cool. Here's the thing though. I love how this machine looks. Yo, tell us in the comments, how clean does this machine look? I don't know, is this gonna be better?
It does.
It is cool.
Follow the lines, but I do like,
And
you're into the lights. I know you like the lighting.
I do like the lights. We already have a winch on this vehicle, so it changes a few things with the install. Firstly, instructions, use them, always follow the safety precautions, have the vehicle on a flat surface, eyeglasses, gloves, I'll put them on, don't worry. But we have the bumper, we have some hardware, we have the instructions, which, we'll check them every once in a while. We probably will though, actually, just to make sure, because we need to do this the right way, right?
Of course.
But there's some different things, tells you what you need. Obviously, this comes, that's nice. The main reason I pulled all this out though is we have a winch already on the vehicle, came stock actually on the vehicle. So we do not need this part, which would normally go, Eric, normally this would go behind this here.
Okay.
So imagine it like in,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And then notice how that's kind of the width of the winch fairlead. This would go in the machine if you didn't have a winch. Okay. We already have a winch and a winch plate behind this, so we don't need this part. And the bumper will mount simply straight to the winch, and we'll put the winch in front of the bumper. Okay, let's get started. Bumper's going on.
What do we have going on?
This is going to be even easier than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
With the winch already installed, there's nothing to do. Without having to use that bracket, we already have 2 mounting points here. I fished in these carriage bolts. I put the nuts on them because don't you always lose them and they fall into the machine forever. And then we have 2 more mounting points here. We just have to remove this so we can access, right, from behind, type of thing. I am now going to raise up the bumper. And hopefully, while I do that, you're not allowed to help me.
I'm not, okay.
Use your knees, you know?
There you go.
Pull this little guy here. Oh my gosh, please don't lose these bolts. I've got one.
Do you want me to hand you one of the nuts or anything?
I'm worried if I do one, I'll lose the other.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Sometimes you just like, do you ever feel like you just get lucky with?
Oh, every day. Every day.
Get a couple safety threads. This one's a little bit more, yeah.
But still, as installs go, this is like easy as pie.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a handful of nuts and bolts.
I wasn't sure how long this was gonna take. Look at that. Oh, that was probably the hardest part. And now, keep them loose, obviously. We just have the top 2. I probably should get an extension to fit this in a little better, but let's see if I can just. Yeah, I might need to, a little wiggle and jiggle. We are gonna need that extension though for doing actual tightening. We are literally all mounted. Now it's time to final tighten down.
And again, we're just using your field toolkit.
This is a very like in the field install.
I love it.
Not a realistic situation, most likely, unless you were like at a campground and then you received shipment from Amazon Prime or whatever. That's not possible. But okay, I need to get my extension so I can fit it all the way inside the bumper. So first up here, I'm gonna just snug up these guys. Even tightness right as you go, Eric. That's getting a little snug, so I don't want to go too much yet. Okay. Is that enough through? All right, we are so close here. Final tightening. Torque value, 2 ohms. Yeah. Use a torque wrench. And oomph. And then on the bottom, oomph. And the last bolt here, Eric. Place the radiator cover. Boom. So, front bumper installed. You're simply tying into the vehicle in 4 places. 1, 2, frame tied in. 3 and 4, lower 2 points tied into the frame. If you come in real tight here, in here, we have a winch, obviously. This whole space, therefore, is taken up by it and is already pushing out a reinforced bracket tied in back here that other plate system, remember that we didn't use? That's where that would have gone in here if we didn't have this. The 2 carriage bolts down here that you have to feed in kind of behind the winch plate, the instructions call for loosening the winch plate, giving you a little bit more room to kind of clear them. I actually didn't have to, based on just kind of finagling It would have been easier, but we're already in the field, Eric.
Yeah.
So why not make it a little harder? So this is tied in 4 places. Awesome, super sturdy. And now we are going to move on. If you come over here, Eric, we have a hole in the bumper here.
Okay.
That comes through, so we can tie these body armor panels on.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And continue. This is cool. You know what this also gives us, actually? So the winch, still very accessible. We have some extra little tabs here where, I don't know, maybe in the future we do, there's some post tabs, and then there's some larger ones for light bar, pods, who knows what. We don't need them yet because these LED lights are sick, but who knows, we'll see. Okay, next up, we're doing body armor. So body armor is next. I have it laid out. We think, we don't know which side is which side yet because we haven't started, but this is how the body armor basically comes and attaches to the vehicle. So the first thing we're gonna install is these, so basically these go under the footwells and essentially provide like some skid platey action. So imagine if you had to, this ends up coming out here. Imagine if you had to like have a rock or something go under there. Obviously, again, not needed. The normal vehicle can certainly protect itself, but gives you a little added metal protection. And then the other 2 pieces will come out of here, back up and mount, and out of here and back up and mount into the front bumper. So we're tied into the front bumper, which is tied into the frame. We're tied into this, which is tied into the frame. And then when it comes out here and up around, we come, it kind of like, see over here? This kind of like loops under and then ties into the frame.
Okay.
So first step, we got to put the little footwell skid platey things on the bottom. So I'm just loosening the screws that we are going to attach them with so that we can add the actual rails to the sides. Literally, so there's 4 screws in this footwell. 1, 2, 3, 4 Torx. The greatest drive head ever created, Eric. The guy who made Torx, I want to meet him. Literally, you take the bolts apart, you insert this plate, and you put them back together.
Super easy.
The extra like protection underneath the footwells is installed. Next thing, Eric, we take these. They will feed into this and then lock onto here and bolt on, everything tied in, and then same thing, not this pipe, but in the back, feeds in, boom. We're gonna do the next step. We're moving. All right, so let me put these in. So we've made a little progress. I'm just lining up the holes on this one. So all these screws in the bottom, are not screws, well, these are more so bolts than screws, aren't they? We've fed some of the piping in, some of the body armor. Obviously it comes up here. I have everything loose fitted largely, so there's a screw, or I'm just gonna say the word screw more than I should. See this guy right here?
Yes.
So this is gonna end up tightening and pulling this into this flat kind of joint, if you will. These 2 bolts, proper terminology, are backed right here and hold the whole front pipe in. This is hard mounted to the frame, remember. So this is all loose fitted just so we can get it all lined up and correct. The rear, again, has the same 2 bolts that are gonna hold it in. And then back here comes underneath with this bracket and then ties up into the frame. We can show you when it's done. And then everything is tied in and you have strong armor on the outside of the vehicle. I actually really like, let's just take a sneak peek here, Eric, back here. So one thing to think about is weight for all of these accessory installs. There is a weight rating that you don't want to exceed for any build that you're doing. So you can't just simply take every single accessory we make and sell and put it on a vehicle. It would be overweight, right? So one thing that I like about the body armor is, number 1, it ties into the frame and it ties into the front bumper, which I wanted to run. So we have that tied into here, all down the side. It does not need to, however, tie into a rear bumper. I'm less concerned about that as of right now. The things that I know we're going to do and that we've talked about don't necessarily require a rear bumper. Certainly we could put one on, but we don't need to. We already have a metal rack right here, and so I don't necessarily want to add more weight if I can all avoid it. Weight is bad unless it's helping you do something that you couldn't before, or bolstering something, is kind of how I look at it. So I really like how this just cuts off right here and ties into the frame underneath, so we don't need to run a rear bumper yet. Maybe someday we will, hopefully not. Maybe we will though, who knows? This is the point in time when a powered ratchet would be so nice. We have all of the bottom bolts in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 per each side. We have the rear bracket tucked in and mounted through the frame. These are actually final tight, the rears, and we're just starting to final tight everything. And then we have all of the fronts loose tighted as well. So last step, which is again going to be very laborious, and we're in the field, at least we have a socket. If we had 2 wrenches, that would suck. Will simply be retaining all of these and literally just going to town on every single one of these bolts. I'd still say, like, you want to get, obviously, again, read the instructions, the right torque, all that stuff. But I still like to do things like my dad taught me, which is do everything a little snug tight, even it up, and then do it all final tight again. Eric.
Yes, what's it?
The last modification. Okay. Firstly, come over here. How cool is this looking so far? People of YouTube, what do you think? How does it look with the bumper, the body armor? My thought is maybe we need a little more offset on some wheels, Eric.
A little stance.
Maybe, little stance. Okay, I have some boxes, handguards. But Eric, you're probably thinking these are black. Yeah. I also have white. So, black or white?
Yeah, I think you gotta go white.
Do you go white?
I don't know. That's what I think.
I feel like you do. Good news. I think we have the right mounts.
That's great.
They're gonna attach to the handlebars. It's all loose fitted. And then it's going to, right, sit here. You know how when they tell you in all, like, if you watch install videos on YouTube, take your time. Yeah. Probably, maybe some dads have said that. I always rush installs, and I just installed this handguard, but flipped around backwards. Thought I had the wrong handguard, so then I installed the other one upside down, and now we have this one on correctly, and I'm getting very good at this assembly. We're looking at this picture here. That's what we were doing. There's a bunch of star washers and some things, so you can basically make this nice and adjustable. There's adjustability in this clamp, basically this interface that goes onto the mount itself to the handlebar has some length adjustability, and then we have angled adjustability. This left side is the tightest packaged. We also have a few extra cords going on because this has the winch and some other stuff. If you have thumb and hand warmers, there's gonna be some other stuff. This is a good take your time thing, just so you know. If I can get this in here and push some things out of the way. Roughly in here somewhere.
Yeah, it looks good.
I think that'll end up being.
Protect your fingers. And
Yeah. Is that look good from back there?
yeah.
Somewhere in here?
Get it loose in there. And
Yep. We'll still have to push this in a little bit, but okay. Test fit, always test fit. We have one of our handguards on. A lot of deliberation over this placement. Firstly, we fit the, it takes a little just finesse and maneuvering for, you know, as we get more electronics out on the bars, more cordage and or actually wires. So getting these mounts in, you just have to kind of tuck around and finagle them just perfectly. Take your time, right?
yeah.
Breathe, woo-saw, right? But got that on. We did a little bit of fidgeting with the bar mount placement itself due to, if you come back here, Eric, This is definitely a consideration where you want to make sure this parking brake, right,
Yes.
this guy, that this does not get impeded by the metal mount here from the handlebar. Tracking?
Yeah, I see it.
So this guy will not get hung up on anything. The other thing we were looking at is handguard distance and handguard tilt. You are, I would say, more of an expert on handguards than I am.
I don't know about expert.
You have used handguards more than I have
okay.
from the dirt bike world. So we were talking just a little bit about how far do we want it. Tell me from your words, I know this isn't like your exact dirt bike setup because there's different things we can't do here, but describe to me, you can even use your hand if you'd like, this element of where the hand is in relation to the handguard.
Well, sometimes people might run this too far inward or outward. And what I find is if you were to come into some brush or something and this flexes, which is designed to do to a certain point, you'd want it to come back and connect maybe the end of the bar. That'll help kind of protect your hand a little bit.
As far from your hand as possible.
You don't want it to fold in if you come into some sticks and have it pinch your hand, basically.
And looks like we need to tighten a little bit more. But if this was, let's say here, the end of it, like if this was here, this would bend into your hand.
Yeah, that would pinch you, and that's no good.
Boom.
Or it would pinch the brake, and then this thing would in turn be pushing your brake lever, which you might not choose to.
And could become stuck back here.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So handguard placement, also, you've said, Eric, it's very preferential. Right. So some people have different preferences. Put it where it works the best for you, but there's a couple considerations. We're gonna finish up, and then guess what? We're done with the modifications, and we're gonna look at the whole rig by itself. We've completed today's modifications. Take a look. We have the handguards are on.
Yep.
Dude, those look pretty sick.
Yeah, looks great.
They actually somehow make the bumper and the body armor work better too. I don't know why I think that, just maybe a little bit more armor. But really psyched about these. As I said earlier on, handguards, instant 5 to 10 horsepower gain. Maybe not true, but maybe. We put the front bumper on. I'm really happy about that. A, how easy it was in all honesty. B, it's very rigid, which you never know, right? And then C, the tying in to the body armor, which we also installed, didn't we, Eric? Yeah. And then D, okay, didn't even think I was gonna have that many pros about it. Super excited for, I don't know, if we need more lighting here, you know, down the road, this would be a perfect spot for 2 pods. You could also do a 10, 11-inch bar here, you know, route it in super easy back to the battery area. But really excited about that. Winch still accessible. We did the body armor, Eric. So this entire side of the vehicle where the plastic would potentially touch a tree or a rock is now protected. All the way down to here. Can you come underneath with me?
Yeah.
This metal, we have a little bit smoother surface. It's reinforced. There's some gusseting. All of this stuff is, it's kind of like peace of mind in a sense. The beautiful white ATV that we really have come to enjoy. We know it's a little bit more protected, and possibly it will just ding the metal and not have to worry as much about the other stuff. Also, I feel literally seeing the armor and like the bumper, like you just feel a little bit more confident. Like, it's kind of like when I would do stuff to the 4Runner or whatever stuff in the past, you know, you do a little mod and you're just like, okay, this thing might be a little bit more capable now. Also, we had the handguards, so 1, 2, 3 different mods today. Super stoked on this. You guys are gonna be seeing a lot more of this vehicle. What are your thoughts on the build so far? What else does it need? What have we done wrong? Let us know in the comments. As always, these machines are super cool, but they definitely aren't that cool when they don't get ridden. Work on your vehicle, have fun riding it, then do it all again. And definitely come on back for the next episode of Trail Talk. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. We'll see you next time.